Good morning. Get these charts going. Screen one. Okay. Hey, we got a down day yesterday. Some of you may not think it happened. Anyway, what damage was done? In reality, on the daily chart, none. Right? Well, we did get a close under a prior day's low. Right? So you've heard me say that many times as things have gone up. It's like, hey, we got to start somewhere to see if some kind of corrective price action happens. And one is, does it close below a prior bar's low? And so we got to close below a prior bar's low. And it's the second one relatively close to the last one. Momentum is been slowing a bit. Um, SPX, butting its head up against 6,800. Internals are still, you know, neutral. They're not in alignment. Breadth is still under zero, which is terrible for a market making new all-time highs. But we've been talking about that for a long time. Thing is finding the right stocks that are moving, finding fewer that move substantially, but there are more accidents happening. The accidents meaning big nasty down days on individual stocks typically happen when the internals reach an extreme. So what does that tell us? Well, institutions are nervous. I guess a little afraid of heights, so to speak. However they measure, um, valuations or whatever. Things moving up a lot. So anyway, always have the stops and and protect yourself. That's all you can do. So you can see how we measure momentum is looking at the distance between pivots, the swings, and how prices move, and then once we get a reversal. So when we see strong momentum like that, the assumption is it'll continue to go higher. Doesn't mean it won't pull back. That was a deep pullback. Pretty decent momentum, not as strong as that one. So that's how we read momentum slowing. Relatively deep pullback. This was the consolidation we saw in August, then September, historically the worst month of the year, was a great month. And so very nice movement. Notice there's no pivots. No pivots. That means extreme amount of demand. There was a correction bar, and there's your pullback. And now we got these red bars from that pivot. Momentum slowing a bit. Trend is still up. So objective approach always. We look at multiple time frames. The weekly trend is up. The ranges are narrowing. Momentum is slowing. 65-minute chart. Oh, someone threw the market off the roof. Right? It stops at support. And right now, it's just going sideways. So what are we doing here? Well, factory work. By the way, I'm speaking at 10 o'clock. I know you all going to be trading, so maybe you're not interested to come, but I'd urge you to come. You'll learn something. Anyway, so look, here's support and horizontal line. There's resistance. So as day traders, right, yesterday being a relatively big down day, typically, unless the market is like so bearish, you typically don't get another big down day. If we did, like especially from a high, like something like this, and this was much more bearish over here, the big pink bar, because it gapped up and it was a big wide range bar. This is wider than the others, but it's not a huge one like that. That would suggest more to the downside. So as day traders, usually we're going to see after that bar an inside day. But anyway, you can see what's happening here at the moment. But if it can clear these highs, right, this isn't an uptrend. This isn't an uptrend. The wide range bar. One of the things that I say to communicate our method is that a wide range bar is a power bar, but the weakest link in the chart. And people often say, what does that mean? Well, what it means is it created a void. And so it is a power bar. It does suggest more downside, but this one suggested more downside. This one suggested more downside. And obviously these are bigger, but the downside didn't come. That's a bull market. Now, at some point, that's going to change. So we're going to see today, can it clear these highs and maybe rallies up into some part of this void? Okay, so we'll see. And then, in the green room, we'll be looking at the 5-minute chart and seeing it's rattling around. If it tightens up, just, apply that bias if it can clear these highs, if that is in the cards. And if it breaks these lows, well, the next reference point isn't too far away. And looking at the cues there, there's minor support at 600, but we do look at like the whole numbers. But, that pivot low, which is the white area, is actually the trading day, right? Where the gray area is like overnight. So this is where the volume is. And so that was a retracement. So we had big down day, yesterday, and then the stabilization. It couldn't bounce up very much. Okay. So spiders were down. They violated this low, this pivot low, and they're rattling around here. This looks a little bit more attractive to me in this time frame. A little move up, and it's just rattling sideways here. I'm going to take a look at the futures. We'll see if this can take out this high. I'm talking day trades here. And as far as our swing trades, as far as the market goes, there's nothing to do. Nothing to do. We need to think swing. It's either got to pull back or it's got to negate this bar, this red bar, in a powerful way, which would mean today would be a big green day. Then we'd have a bullish 180 after a consolidation, and we'd look to buy a breakout from there and would give us a stop below a prior day's low. So from a daily chart perspective, we're just in a holding mode, waiting to see, what's going to happen. Does this follow through lower in an uptrend, another buying opportunity? Does it negate this? And there's this blow off theory, right? Meaning, so if you were to get a red bar ignored, that could be the situation where we get a blow off to the upside. Internals being where they are supports that. So sometimes we see patterns and the internals don't support it, and it's lower probability of it actually happening. Right? Do SPX, since yesterday's number almost was touched. We'll see. I think since yesterday was a down day, this strike down here, especially at a half number, is a no-brainer. In any event, probably you don't have to go all the way down there, but we'll see what it does at the open. But somewhere close to there. I mean, you're looking for the premium. You want tighter spread, meaning you don't have to go really wide. The idea with these far away, you have to go really wide. And so if whenever it gets touched, you're going to get touched in a bit of a nasty way, but odds are getting touched is very, very low. The top one getting touched after a down day, it seems unlikely, but I already explained what was going on, about the void and the down bar. And so as I'm looking at this SPX, and this is obviously, got some of the overnight data in there, we could look at without it, but so you can see the difference. As I look at charts, I say, what does this chart look like it could develop into? And so what I see is the potential, as I said on the daily chart, does it rally all the way back up into there? Does it get halfway up there, 3/4 of the way up? But could this be, head and shoulders type of situation? So Yesterday's low on a short-term basis is relatively significant because it's got room to go down. Um, so we're again waiting to see how this develops, things unfold here today. All right. Yeah, let's look at IWM. All right, that had a big nasty down day. It's rattling around here, same situation. Maybe it could pop up a little bit. And so we'll see what happens there. Futures markets. I'll just start at the top and work down. Silver looks great. That's what I'm talking about. Red bar ignored, wide bar, uptrend. Don't short red bars on a swing basis on an uptrend. It doesn't make sense. Odds are against you. Gold continues to move up. Maybe it's going to get parabolic. It's already getting extended. Clearly, more and more are jumping on board, and that's what creates, a climactic type of a move. Crude oil, and we talked about it breaking down a big nasty down bar last week. It's retracing up to where sellers should be. We'll see if it rolls over or not. Bitcoin, as you know, came ripping right back again. It held that swing low. Now it's at the top of the trading range and backing off. So what we want to see here in the coming days is this to ideally go sideways. So anytime we see a big up bar, right, wide range bar, power bar, creates a void, right? Just different time frames. Everything is the same. It's just different time frames. The interpretation is the same. So power bar, weakest link. So it has to create support, meaning there's no support down here. So if it rattles around sideways, the interpretation is it's, you know, acting well at resistance, and that supports a bias that it could go higher. So we're waiting. Russell futures, right? Turning back up. It's in an uptrend, slowing momentum, distance between the highs. Trend is up. YM has been dogging it, but if the markets are going to go up, I think YM is going to be the catch-up trade. And so this daily chart is constructive. It got rejected there. It's holding up. It's going sideways. Maybe it's going to go nowhere today. The swing high isn't far off. You can see it's starting to flip up here. So these aren't like amazing kind of patterns. These are, scalping day trading patterns right now. Nothing wrong with that. Keep keep it in perspective. You keep things in perspective and, be a lot better off. All right. S&Ps sideways. I said before the spiders look better than the Qs. So look at this sideways consolidation. And so getting above here, I see this. There's another concept in the course I call neutralizing what's to the left. It's based on this kind of price action. And we're traded above and below. So if this can get above here, it looks like it can go up. And so it's got a little work to do. You can see it's just flip-flopping around here, and there's the void. Those of you in social media, if you trade leveraged ETFs or futures, day trading, come into the green room. And it's part of our focus every day besides swing trades and credit spreads. All right. There's the NQs, a little, closer. The pivots there, not as flat, but, buyers starting to come in a little bit. We got to see which way it's going to go. All right. Interest rates, been all over the place, but, they moved down. So the home builders got shellacked. I showed you that yesterday. And they got shellacked again yesterday. But set some alerts down here on this home building and see if it comes down here. If the this comes down hard, they'll stabilize, and we'll see if there'll be an opportunity there. And oh, this is another crack in the armor, right? Retailing index. There's some, beaten up going on there. So the consumer is withdrawing. Everybody's thinking consumer, holding things together. There's plenty of evidence that that really is not holding together, that theory. So you see grocery stores getting decimated. You see some of these going down, restaurants and so on. So that's another conversation. All yours, Dan.
You explain grocery store going down. People need to eat. I mean, restaurants I can see, but we did talk. We talked about it.
Look at
Yeah,
SFM. We talked about that yesterday.
right. I'm just saying the specialty ones, but Publix is not a public company. But yeah, I got this one on my list. SFM, the Climo, and well, Amazon bought Whole Foods, so no way to look at that. Let's look at alarms like always. Silver, Greg already talked about. My up alarm went off. Incredible. A daily, and I saw some bank, Wells Fargo came out. Well, I'll get to those in a minute, and they're recommending buying a bunch of material stocks now. And I just shake my head, man, when I see that. We got in on this breakout bar right here. I mean, that's why I think fundamental is just bullshit. Uh, well, let me rephrase that. It's BS unless you don't overlay it with technicals. Because your entry was down here. But I would love to have gone back in time, if possible, and say, hey, Wells Fargo, what is your bias on silver right now on the date that we are buying it technically? And see, so they might say, oh, dead money, we don't care about it. But now they're recommending it. Now Ray Dalio just had I read some little snippet article. He's saying people should have 15% of gold. He was on CNBC talking yesterday. So how many people did he suck in with these comments? Because he's respected. But we got in down here. XME, another Climo. That's just the ETF for it. But yeah, Wells Fargo, here, I'll show you right now. I was recommending SCCO. Man, you got rocks in your head to tell somebody to buy this right now if you use technicals. So when these people tell their clients to go buy these things right now, do they ever give them a stop loss? Like, so this was Wells Fargo today telling people to buy these things. When people give a buy recommendation of a big brokerage house, do they give a stop loss? Because I don't read the report because I don't care. But so that's a Climo. AA is better because you got a 180 and it's not nearly as extended as the sector. So Alcoa is aluminum. So maybe that's why it's a little different than gold and silver. VMC was on their list, but that's Vulcan, so that's part of XME, but not gold silver. So that's why that looks totally different. But that's not bad. It can take out the high. XM VMC, I'll put this, I always eyeball it on the 15-minute chart. Set an alarm at, oh, again, oh man, my market miner says this is gapping up to 307. I guess I see one print up here. So we'll just come back to it. All right, so that's that. Amazon up alarm. We have a put spread, so I tighten the stop. Netflix up alarm. I tighten the stop. Remember, they had 2 days of Prime. Their Amazon Prime days. And just off memory, my historical memory is they do well on Prime days. Even though this was a bounce and a downtrend, I would never buy it as a swing, but we have a put spread way the heck down here. So that's working. We move stop break even. And then finally Paul alarm went off. Greg, I think we're on borrowed time on this thing. That's all right. I got an alarm at 1.25, I think, but I love this pattern because daily, weekly, monthly. Look at this multi-year bottoming pattern on the monthly. So that is why I had a big target for it. I had a target of 125, which hit yesterday. Look, right there, high of the day, hit my target. Now it's $4 higher. So we're in trail mode. All right, those are all my alarms. Let's just see miscellaneous stuff now. Yeah, they do, Alex. Absolutely. They got absolutely all those big firms. That Mike guy at Morgan, he's head of technicals. But do the two departments talk to each other? That's the question. So when the analysts write a fundamental report, do they ask the technical people, hey, am I going to get laughed at by the technicians, or should I tell them to wait for a pullback around this level? You know what I'm saying? All right, so Cisco here, as Greg was talking, I just saw blasting out. So that's a breakout. Well, the problem is my target would be 71, 71.50, and well, we'll see what it does. A new theme lately, past couple of weeks, that with Trump, that started with Intel, I think, is Trump saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna, invest, I'm gonna buy 10% of this company. Well, not Trump, but the government. And he's done that with a couple of material stocks over the last week that caused them to just rip roaring. I don't yet. This one I don't think it is. It's a Alpha Capital Corp. That's a big old monster friggin' gap. Maybe it's Bitcoin related. I don't know. I know I'm watching the Qs and the spiders rally here on the 5-minute chart. We got 4 minutes to go. Look at this BTQ. I have no idea what it does. Maybe Bitcoin is kind of trading like a Bitcoin mining stock. But look at that, gapping up to 16 bucks. That's a gap and crap candidate. BBWI. Alex mentioned to me, it's a little double bottom, but the trigger has to take out yesterday's high. Pang. I think this had earnings. So I'm going to put this one on my list of excessive gap. Ugly gap. I mean, I use the word potentially excessive. But just watch it. See if fire stuff up. But a lot of smart people sure hit the eject button yesterday. Yeah, I just said that else. All right, this one, I forget what the news was. Oh, buyout rumor. The gap's too big. I think, is doing a secondary offering, so that's a call spread watch, 30-minute low. It's a bearish gap. BMC we talked about, BBBY. Had some news, I forget what, maybe secondary offering, but today's Wednesday. If we get 3 inside bars, then I like that for Monday, and you got a 1, 2, 3 on the weekly. So that's going on the watch list. Quantum cryptography. Okay. All right. So maybe it's in the quantum computing, talking about that. Look, NNE, I read, that's these stocks have just been on a tear. And we've been trading them again with the technicals. We've been getting out too early. We actually had a put spread and closed it out yesterday. I read some article today that this company, I forget its valuation, but they say they have 0 income and 0 operating plants. Did any of you know that? I surely didn't. Not that I would have traded it any differently, but that's an interesting comment that adds to the story of a short-term bubble, that people are just buying recklessly these things. They're getting to be climos, and it's like the .com, majority of those companies didn't have any earnings. FedEx got a downgrade today, no pattern. I always check the cousins. UPS is actually flat, up a few pennies. So it's bottoming pattern, but nothing attractive. Dell raised their guidance yesterday. So this is a little bit similar to BBBY, the way it's consolidating here. So that's still constructive. Now CMG bottoming pattern. Dell. Rocket Lab got a contract. This thing, we had a put spread on this too. We had a beautiful trade. Okay, so for me to call that a gap and crap, I would want a much bigger gap. So nothing to do now. Yeah, RL looks great. Yep, that was on your list yesterday. Yeah, looks great. Yeah, I don't personally like trading in the first 5 minutes, but that looks good. TTWO is on our list, bottom right. That looks good. This Yum, I'm watching this for some type of retest on this 15-minute chart. FICO and EFX were in the news, but no pattern there. $1,800 stock. FX, Netflix. Oh, Netflix. Let me check the premium right now. Here, MGM short new low. ITA, which is another ETF trade of ours, a new high. That looks great. All right, so our Netflix, we got the 1145. I want to cover half or all. It's 14 cents. 13. So yeah, I mean, let's close it at 12 cents. I said bid 10. So we're only 2 pennies away from my target. And you got rocks in your head well, if you feel like babysitting it to try to squeeze out 2 more cents, have a good time. I don't. Take your money, move on to the next trade. Let's be done with it. We're traders. We move inventory. And the difference is our profit. Pretty simple, isn't it? So look at that. We got, as of right now, we got out at the dead high. ITA. You know what? We might have to sell a third of this. Man, these cues are ripping here. Apples, so I immediately glance up at my things. Microsoft, Apple, Netflix, and then Tesla's the dog in the video rally. ITA. Let's see. We have not sold any, so that's a no-brainer now. Let's sell 1/3 at 14.49. $8.25. Oh, I see CMG tanking. Okay. FIG is up. Remember I mentioned that it's a possible bottoming pattern? Set new alarms. 65, 58. I actually have a put spread on it. I shorted the 45 puts the other day. And I might take my money on it. See how much I'm up. So it's still not a good directional. T2, look at the bottom right chart. So yeah, that's why I don't like trading the first 5 minutes. Let things simmer down. All right, FIG. I'm not at FIG. Did I take my money yesterday? Oh, I'm in Fly. Okay. I'm in Fly. 25 put spread. That's what it is. Okay, FIG I never did. All right. I have very, very light inventory, so MGM, yeah, my alarm went off. Nice, MGM. 33.13. Oh, we're up $2. Let's cover half. That's a nice gain. I wonder if it's the same problem with the competition. From those Polymarket cats. Yeah, my circle alarm just went off too. I'm, busy as can be. in the mornings. I just, all I can do is go one by one. Excellent. I love when the market rallies and our shorts are all falling. That just is a reflection on our how good we are in our picks. So MGM, no alarm. 33, 32. Circle. Yeah, I think that's at our stop too. Just my alarm went off. But and again, no, we're not in circle. We stopped out yesterday actually. On this one little dip right there, we stopped out yesterday at a profit. It's bullish that we're still in. And they're both little bottoming patterns. Our stop on bullish 65.58. Okay, so that stopped out yesterday actually. My bad. 65.48 stopped yesterday at a gain. All right. Texan. I had a break even alarm, but we're actually Texan 178.32. We're actually break even right now. And you know how I ask this sometimes. Should we kill at break even? Or is the pattern fine? It's a bear 1, 2, 3 if it closes like this. But Qs are ripping. Amazon coming in hard. I'm glad I tightened this up. All right, so T2. Does anybody have a vote? Are you okay with, even if you're not in the trade? I'm not, but break even or let it run? Hey, y'all are no help to me. All right, Amazon. To Amazon, I moved it to break even, so 215, 205. But do not like the retracement. 215, not 215, 210 is 33. All right, so I have it break even, so I'll keep the stuff on Amazon. Which is 220.38 Amazon. Or yep, that looks lower. NVM. I don't get NVM. All right, I had Gemini alarm, but nothing to do. Okay, got it. Meta is not acting right. We have a put spread on this. Mister is still doing well, the call spread. And we did a WIGMI call spread yesterday, which I do not like that bottoming too. But and the AD line gapped up over 1,000. Our Airbnb, new low, looks great. Set a break even alarm now. One night, 119.83. That's pretty tight. I'll set it at 121, which I already have. All right, so that's fine. Check these other short. Charter, dead money, CNC, we're in trail mode, EVLD, short, dead money. Mo, put spread doing well. Pack, we're in trail mode. Oh, it actually might have triggered. 567. Pack. Nope, 566. So we're impacted by a penny. Oh, Roku, that stopped out. I said yesterday he was on probation. All right, yuck. But at least we made a good decision to get out of the put spread at profit. Roku, you were gone. LNW still looks great. Let me tighten the stop now. Well, well, it's better than you not being in wig. Hey, Hershey alarm from yesterday. So somebody less. Oh wow. See, Alex, so that's exhibit A of why for a swing trade, I can never give a 15-minute reversal. I because you for day trading, absolutely. And if you wanted to scale into it with a 20% lot, but I still have no friggin' idea how low this can go without a potent turn. This thing can go to 230. EMT. Uh, great. We're in trail mode. 4022. I have a third left. So thank you, sir. Happy day. Soon. If I were in Texan short, I would kill it. Just just because cues are strong, but the daily still looks horrible. Well, maybe I'll give it 30 minutes and then decide. Silver up alarm again. Apple and Microsoft having a good morning. All alarms. All right, if I missed any of your questions, please ask again. That was, yeah, we gotta, oh wait, are we still in Sandwich? Call spread? No, we took our money yesterday. Nice. Ah, Alex, we're in a circle put spread, not directional. So it was 145.48. So yeah, our put spread stuffed out. 270, 265. So 128, 123. 22. Then we covered half at 10 already. So let's call it 34.17. No, circuit's still bottoming pattern though. I'm gonna set an alarm at 150. That could still turn into a directional. Fly is a nice hourly now. What would make this better if yesterday had a bottoming tail? Well, that would be so sweet looking. Cisco, no pattern, and this thing has no juice on puts. I've looked so many times. It did in the 90s, but now it's too much of a staple. All right, some of these that I typed out earlier. Whoa, that's an ugly gap I'm paying. I got no interest in that. I ran, still no potent turn. CMG took a nosedive this morning, but now I'll set an alarm at 41. Oh, we still got social media on here. Greg usually shuts them off. All right, hey, social media. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.